Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to this new episode of Sudan in Focus weekly news magazine, which focuses on Sudan news and events, aims to give the Sudan TV audience a broad and first-hand information about what is going on in Sudan. So let's go.
Prime Minister Dr. Kamel Idris has affirmed the strengthening of bilateral relations between Sudan and Qatar, expressing Sudan's aspirations to consolidate these relations and maintain an advanced level of coordination on all issues concerned to both countries. During a meeting at his office in Port Sudan with the Qatari ambassador to Sudan, Muhammad bin Ibrahim Al-Sada, Dr. Kamel Idris praised Qatar's supportive stance towards Sudan, noting that the relations between the two countries are historically and deeply rooted, encompassing all political, economic, and social aspects. The meeting addressed ways to enhance mechanisms for joint coordination and cooperation, and how to develop bilateral relations to serve the interests of the people of the two countries. Prime Minister Dr. Kamel Idris has affirmed Sudan's interest upgrading relations with Germany, expressing Sudan's desire to strengthen communication with the international community within the framework of advisory services, in line with the requirements of national sovereignty and desires of the Sudanese people. This came during his meeting at his office in Port Sudan with the Germany Charge of Affairs, David Shua, and the presence of Ambassador Jamal Malik, Director of European and American Directorate at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ambassador Jamal said in press statement that the meeting addressed the Sudanese government's vision for achieving peace and how to end the war in a way that meets the aspiration of the people. They also discussed bilateral relations between the two countries and Germany's role in providing aid and humanitarian assistance to the Sudanese people. The German Charge of Affairs affirmed that Sudan has been greatly affected by the war, noting that Germany believes that the war ends soon, that Germany will continue to support Sudanese people with humanitarian aid and political support to achieve stability. Prime Minister Dr. Kamel Al-Tayyib Idris issued a decision of appointing 5 ministers to complete the transitional cabinet within the government of Hope as follows: Engineer محمد Kartikela Saleh, Ministry of Federal Government, Rural Development; Dr. Abdullah Muhammad Darf Ali, Minister of the Ministry of Justice; Dr. Jibril Ibrahim Muhammad, Ministry of Finance; Ms. Mahasin Ali Yaqub, Minister of Industry and Trade; Mr. Bashir Harun Abdel Karim Abdullah, Minister of Religious Affairs and Endowments. The decision directed the Ministries of Federal Government and Rural Development, Justice, Finance, Industry and Trade, Religious Affairs and Endowments, Human Resources and Social Welfare, and other concerned authorities to take measures to implement the decision. Member of the Transitional Sovereignty Council, Dr. Nawara Abu Muhammad Tahir, has praised the strengthening of bilateral relations between Sudan and the state of Kuwait. She expressed her appreciation for Kuwait's supportive stance towards the Sudanese people and regional and international forums. TSC member added during her meeting with the Kuwaiti ambassador to Sudan, Dr. Fahad Al-Dhafiri, in the presence of the governor of the Red Sea State, Lieutenant General Mustafa Muhammad Noor, that while most countries have limited their efforts in Sudan to providing humanitarian aid, the state of Kuwait has distinguished itself by entering into investments and has gone beyond the stage of humanitarian aid to promote and encourages investment. Dr. Nawara affirmed her keenness to provide an attractive environment for investment and the development of all economic sectors, praising the partnership of Kuwait real estate company with the Red Sea state through the Arus Tourist Resort project, which is one of the projects promoting the tourism sector in Sudan. For his part, the Kuwaiti ambassador to Sudan, Dr. Fahad Al-Dhafiri, stated that his meeting with the TSC member gave a positive impression of the level of security and encouragements to attract more Kuwaiti investments to capital through the private sector to Sudan in general and the eastern state in particular, to establish investment and development projects to confirm Kuwait's developmental and humanitarian role. The Kuwaiti ambassador described the Arus resource as a vital project, noting that Kuwaiti company, through its partnership with the Red Sea state, is responsible for implementing 80% of the projects of Arus by establishing the infrastructure, which includes a tourist hotel, a residential area, and energy projects, with the aim of attracting tourism to Port Sudan. Furthermore, the Red Sea governor, Mustafa Muhammad Noor, praised the interest and follow-up of TSC member Dr. Nawara regarding development and surface project in the state, explaining the Arus project is based on a partnership between the state and the Kuwaiti real estate company, which will contribute to the development of the region and increase the state's tourism attraction.
Sudan is distinguished by its different cultures, which are expressed by each region or tribe of Sudan that is scattered throughout the whole country, which distinguishes it from others. The Waza music is one of the most folk music in Sudan, especially in South Blue Nile district. It's made from conkel gourds that is hollowed out and connected together with 3 parts. The music band for Waza instrument consists of 13 players. Each of them are a trumpet of varying size. The older generations are keen to bring the youngster and encourage them to play Waza in order to acquire skills and experience that before the main occasions. Also, they want them to keep their tradition, folklore, and heritage to alive. Waza is played before the corn harvest season, social occasions, and guests arrive. There are 5 horns that can produce one special sound that express about their deep feelings of happiness. That interesting with the agricultural achievements. Waza, it has many social and cultural meanings among the Sudanese citizens.
Ismail Abdul-Mu'in was born in 1912 in Bahri in Hillat Hamid in the midst of Sufi environment from religious family. He was fond of the songs of the melodies of the Al-Tambara, of Greens their sons, the travels, the words of An-Navir. Ismail Abd al-Mu'in was born in 1912 in Bahri in Hillat Hamad in the midst of Sufi environment from religious family. He was fond of the songs of Sufi, the melodies of the Al-Tambara, the offerings of their sons, the word of Al-Nafir, the sons of assassin of Al-Lawari. He had rich musical background preceded by great talent refined by Abd al-Mu'in in practice on the musical and lyrical work, which helped him to do so his ambition and the questions full of unique innate musical sense until his strange of his return and his musical talent developed in 1930, where he mentioned in one of his interviews that he benefited from his grandmother Fatma Ford, who was a midwife or Qabila in the days of Sultan Ali Dinar. Ismail Abd al-Mu'in supported in alumni conference like his friends Khalil Farah and composed him Sahya Kanar in 1937 at the request of the members of the conference to be the solution, but the word of his and talent did not suit their fashion. So Ismail contacted the poet Muhyiddin Sabir. He wrote him a scream of root of blood and composed a scream of root my blood and composed to become the anthem of the General Alumni Conference. To become the anthem of the General Alumni Conference, so the melody of the march inspired the enthusiasm of revolutionaries. He put the melodies of the famous national anthem, The Duty of the Homelands Calling Us, by Abed Abdurrahman, the melody of Al-March, who began Kandaro Mandaro At-Tayyib hovers around Sermiwas Daro and Mandaro, heard by the commander of the American fleet in the Atlantic, and asked him that this melody by officer Mott of the U.S. Navy travel to the city of Tobruk in Libya in 1952. The performance of the American fleet military band his anthem and consider the first introduced in the Sudanese 5-point ladder into international music. Ismail Abd al-Mu'in in prepared number of studies in Sudanese music and worked to get out the centrality of psalms in Sudan, where he presented melodies of psalms in different regions of Sudan, did introduce number of hymns that reflect the multicultural and put a number of melodies for emotional and patriotism on the songs, and then travel to France, where he continued to study music until 1939. Ismail Abd al-Mu'in supported the Alumni Conference. His friend Khalil Farah Ismail was Sufi, famous in research. He was not satisfied with the masses on the melodies he found in front of him, so he traveled around Sudan to explore unknown hymns, songs, and melodies in 1935. The most famous of those who sang with melodies, Khalil Ismail and Aisha al-Fallatiyya and Ibrahim al-Kashif and Khidir Bashir and Sayyid Khalifa and others. Finally, Ismail Abdul Mu'in died on May 28, 1984.
في هواك